you ready?
The champ is here!
It's just a man! Give me a hell yeah! What the Rock is cooking? To be the man, you have to be the man! Big Papa Pump! It's your hooker!
Fallen!
And the end! Woo, woo, woo! Cup of coffee in the big game.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? We are back. This is my penultimate episode of Working the Marks, and I am the penultimate warrior, the god and the go-to Working the Marks, Patty Reekin. And it's great to be back here for another show with you, counting down the moments, counting down the seconds till I put on that salmon blazer and I retire.
Acknowledge me.
But the man joining
was that a reference? Guys, no salmon blazer because that was a work.
What are you
That was
talking
a work.
about?
I was just saying.
It's just a nice color. It's a nice color blazer to buy.
No,
you
know? I know. I just remember the segment really well.
I mean, listen, my eyebrows are growing back. So I'm just happy that that's happening now because my eyebrows did get shaved off a little bit. But another person that's back besides my eyebrows is none other than Macho Rodrigez, the Boricua Nightmare. Our friend to the show and a friend to the friend of the friend and a brother of another brother and a brother to a mother. Happy to have you back here tonight. How you doing, Mach?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to be back here. I'm excited to share these last couple shows with you. I realized that the Cuban Missile Crisis decided to sit this one out, so figured let's make it all Boricua here.
Never heard of him. Never heard.
We got the both of us, and then the honorary Puerto Rican over there producing the show, so we're all good.
Well, I think that maybe he doesn't want to be here because he feels like this is Joe Biden's Working the Marks, and maybe if it was Donald Trump's Working the Marks, then maybe he would be more inclined to join it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know. But, we'll see. But we're going to try and build back better here on these last two episodes. And hopefully we do something cool. Maybe we make Puerto Rico, a free country one day. But who knows? All that aside.
I'm a really big fan of Jim Carrey as Joe Biden. I thought he was pretty funny as Joe Biden.
I'm a big fan of Joe Biden as Joe Biden. I think he's hilarious. I also think Donald Trump as Donald Trump is hilarious. Although I got to say I like WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump just a little bit more.
Ooh, okay.
But that's all right. We'll do without the professor like we always do here. And we'll always continue providing some great wrestling content. Get the fucking questions going in here, people. We're calling some of this shit on the fly. It's great to have somebody with us. Hopefully our usual guys join us here tonight. And the man in the shadows, the man that cannot be seen, he who cannot be named, D. Rotten, joining us tonight as well. Mediating this sucker. 5 times. Five times.
You didn't say that.
But good to have you on here tonight as well, D. So Mach, why don't you start it off here? I know you got a little bit of stuff you want to talk about. Let's get it out in the open here.
Well, Ronda Rousey was making some headlines lately with some of her comments about WWE and Triple H and Bruce Pritchard, and we're not going to really touch on all that stuff. We could if you want to, because this is like your show. But the one thing I really wanted to touch on actually sparked my interest, which was in her book. She goes in on how WWE had provided Logan Paul with a lot of time and a lot of prep to prepare him for his in-ring work, but she was never afforded that. And being that like you've actually worked an extensive amount, do you think that had she been given the same opportunity that Logan Paul had, that maybe she would still be with the industry?
I think it was a different set of circumstances if we're going to look at it and think about it, honestly here. I think Ronda was needed a little bit more to help boost the women's division. No offense to any of the other women that were working there that were doing their thing. Paige, AJ Lee, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks. They were all putting in shifts. Michelle McCool, man, Lay Cool. Yeah. They get kind of forgotten as well, but Lay Cool definitely did a lot too as well for that women's evolution. But I think they needed Ronda to come in. They needed her star power to kind of brighten up the women's division. In the men's division, it's a little bit different. There's no shortage of star power for the most part, and I think yeah, maybe if Ronda did get a little bit more time, maybe she would have been a little bit better. I still think she did good for what she did. I know that that's source of dispute, I think, amongst some wrestling fans. There are some people that do not like Ronda Rousey. There's some people that do like Ronda Rousey. I respect the hell out of Ronda Rousey. And I think that Ronda Rousey is one of the toughest women, one of the toughest people on the planet, and was a superstar name that they needed at the right time. And I think she came in, she seized every opportunity in front of her. Look, it happens, man. People sometimes get disenchanted with the business. Sometimes what you think things are not what they end up being. And it kind of, can be a bit of a turnoff for some people, make them not want to really do it or not have as much passion for it. But, I think it's certainly something to ponder. I think with Logan Paul, adding him in there is a good thing. I think it contributes to WWE's visibility. He's a big name, whether people like it or not, whether people know it or not. He's a big name. He's a social media influencer, and he was a boxer. I mean, and look, say what you want about the boxing matches, he still got in there and did the thing. So I mean, it's a bit of a different scenario, I think, for the both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I stand by this. You and I are both big Becky fans. She's probably in our top 5s for the current business right now, whether she's a female or not. Yeah. And I stand by what I'm about to say here. There's no way she main events without Ronda.
I agree. I think it was a perfect storm of the three of them. Unfortunately, from what I understand, there was a lot of issues between them. There was a lot of things a lot of miscommunication, maybe. So
is that a shoot?
To some extent, yeah. I mean, I know Billy had reported on it somewhat. Billy Body from Wrestling Informer. You could also find him on Wrestling Informer on X, or you could check out also Lingus Mafia, who's Cav, who's the guy that he's associated with. But he had kind of touched on how they both had taken things that they had said about one another out of context. And I think it was intended to kind of be a work shoot, and it kind of turned more into a shoot than a work. And I think they were kind of far apart from getting that rematch, because the idea was the rematch. And inevitably, I think the goal was really 50-50 booking. They were trying to get it where, they split it and then you have the rubber match. And unfortunately, we never got to that point. But I think that a lot of it maybe might have to do with Ronda just feeling disenchanted with the business and getting there and seeing that it wasn't what she thought it was. Look, all three women played a major part in making that main event what it was. They were riding the wave, the momentum of Becky Lynch, as the man that first go around. That was a really, really, really special time, for her, for the business, for everything.
Yeah.
And I think riding the wave of what Becky was doing, having Charlotte in there who could work well with just about anybody, and Becky could too. And then Ronda's star power and her name and her legitimacy, I think it was just a perfect recipe for that, and I agree with you. I think they all needed each other. I think the three of them needed each other to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that you brought up Charlotte, because there was another report this week about Charlotte. Rhea Ripley was interviewed, and she was talking about how during WrestleMania 39 in their match, they were told to go home multiple times, and Charlotte said, "Fuck no." Like, this is like, and she like kind of pulled a Rocky, and they kept the match going. And Rhea said this, and in Rhea's words, Charlotte whipped out her big dick and put it on the table, and she said, "No, this is what we're doing." They didn't get in trouble. They didn't get anything because their match was spectacular. What do you think about Charlotte, like, pulling her weight like that and knowing that someone like Charlotte can do that at a big show like WrestleMania?
I mean, look, it goes to show the fact that she's trusted. They know what she brings to the table. They know that she had a better feel of what was going on there. I think the objective of that match was to help get Rhea over more. Rhea's over huge, probably one of the best acts in the fucking business. And she knew what the mission was, and the mission was to get her over, but more importantly, to further the legacy of Charlotte Flair. I think that was an awesome move on her part. Big respect to her for that. It was definitely one of the best matches of WrestleMania. Some might say it was the best match at WrestleMania. But to be in that conversation, I think that's what every worker wants to try and accomplish.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's great. When I think about the names that we've heard over the years that can do things like that, the only people that come to mind that are allowed to make calls like that in the ring are Austin, Rock, Taker, and Shawn.
Yeah.
Like, no, to think that Charlotte has the sway like that. Now we know what the COO, or we know what Triple H and what her father means to him, and it just kind of makes me think she probably means the same amount, right? Like she has to mean like as much to the business as that. I'm assuming if Becky and Rhea are tearing the house down in 2 weeks, that they're going to extend their match, but Becky's calling to open WrestleMania. She wants her and Rhea to open the entire show. You like that idea?
I'm not against it. I don't think it's the worst idea. I think, that's a match that could set the tone. I mean, look, they're both two acts that are very over. The objective here, I think in this case, is to elevate Rhea Ripley, even further. Becky's made. Becky sells the most merch, I think, out of any woman in the business. Becky, up until, Mercedes Moné signed her deal with AEW, was the highest paid woman in the business. Even though technically Charlotte makes more money than her, but Becky gets more on merch because Becky moves more merch. Now, Becky moves more merch than all of them. Okay. Yeah. Rhea's probably second in that category.
Her Mommy's on Top t-shirt is a really popular shirt.
Oh yeah, no, dude, she's forget about it. She's cleaning up with the merch. I just think that the objective here is to try and get Rhea over further. The objective here is to try and make Rhea an even bigger star than what she is right now. And Becky can afford to take an L. Becky can afford to do that. That's fine. That's just a further evolution of Becky's story. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point or another we would see.
That's a best shirt.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing Rhea taking on Bianca either at SummerSlam or at WrestleMania one day, because I think those two are going to be two huge stars in the future. Another one to look out for too, depending upon how everything goes with her gimmick, is Tiffany Stratton. The way she's been able to perform, the way she's grasped things, it's really, really impressive for somebody who hasn't been in the business very long. And she's a natural, but again, she's also a big testament to the developmental system and what they're doing down at NXT. So yeah, I don't think it's a horrible idea though for them to open the show. You want to start out the show with something hot. You want to start out the show with something that the fans are going to get into. Fans are going to get up for that,
Absolutely.
And I think that that's certainly a match that I could see opening the show and getting over huge with the crowd.
Yeah, before we move on, I mean, we need to touch on, like, you're right, Tiffany Stratton, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and if conversations and all of the negotiations work.
You don't think Tiffany Stratton is just looks?
Nah.
No, I think
Tiffany Stratton's really good.
Yeah, she's amazing. But what do you think about the potential of Julia?
Julia, I think, is interesting. It all kind of depends on the language thing too, because I mean, yeah, the way Triple H is presenting Nakamura is really good. With the women, it's a little bit easier because I think it's just more about them wrestling, especially the Japanese women, and they're going to come in and do a bunch of cool shit to get over anyway. But you don't want to depend on the fucking subtitle thing to get people over all the time. You know what I mean?
I've heard Julia speaks clearer than Kyrie and Io. Like she can speak clearly.
Io speaks really clearly, by the way. I've heard. I'm shocked.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was like, wow, like that.
And her and Kyrie speak Spanish too.
Yeah. So I mean, they worked in Mexico, I'm sure, and probably other Spanish countries, maybe in Puerto Rico, who knows? But I think that at the end of the day, if Julia comes in and she's able to speak English and speak it well, no brainer, man. She's talented too. But yeah, I mean, Tiffany, I think with Julia, it'll take a little bit more time, unless she just kind of gets that Asuka thing where she she's got a rocket pack on her and she goes right up the card. Tiffany, I don't know, man. I think hopefully we see her versus Bianca at WrestleMania. And
That
that
would
will be a
be- yeah.
huge showcase for her. And look, I'm not the big, I know Uribe is a huge Tiffany fan of her looks and stuff. I'm not particularly fond of her looks. Doesn't mean anything. She might not be fond of my looks. That's okay. But regardless of that fact, whether people find her attractive or not, she's fucking talented. You know what I'm saying? And the good thing about her is, like, you know, she's another different look, another different flavor, another different thing. And you always need more of that, I think, with wrestling companies. You need a little bit more variety, especially with women.
There's also a case to be made now that Today officially tweeted from her ex account, Alexa Bliss, letting the world know that she's back in the gym. Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley is a very interesting matchup.
It is. It is. I mean, I just think physically the matchup is a little you know, I think they'll agent it well where it makes sense. I mean, look, I had heard, you know, Dee mentioning about Becky Lynch, that, you know, Becky Lynch and Rhea being in the ring there is kind of looks like a mismatch. And yeah, it's fair to say that. I think though with Becky Lynch though, she's such a huge star that it's just like, oh my God, I sounded like Meltzer when I said that. She's such a huge star that it doesn't really matter. And she's so good at talking that she could sell anything. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like
her match with Nia last week was fucking amazing.
I liked it. And look, the way the match was agented, it made sense. The psychology of the match made sense. At no point in time did you see anything stupid like Becky trying to fucking top rope powerbomb Nia. You know, you didn't see anything like that. Everything that she did made sense.
I don't want to make I don't want to make my Liv Morgan joke here, since you talk about these power bombs that she does off the top here. So why don't we move on, so that we don't get any hate from all the Liv Morgan fans, because they happen to only be on the internet.
I get it. I mean, look, I think there's a lot of potential with Liv Morgan. I think she's gotten better in the ring from when she first started. Obviously, you can see she's put in a lot of time. You know, she's worked with a lot of great people in that company, and she's an athletic girl. I think just the thing that's missing is the character thing. I think once she gets like that thing that really, really, really just catches on, that's it, you know, because she's got everything else, I think.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think she looks the part. She definitely can. She's gotten better in the ring and all that stuff. But speaking of looking and sounding the part, why don't we talk about that CM Punk segment last night? Because holy shit. I saw a tweet yesterday, and I cannot stop thinking about it, and I saved it for today's show. This was what I was most excited about.
Okay.
So I'm going to make the comment to you here that I saw, and this was it. Seth Rollins, the third wheel in both top stories in professional wrestling. Is that a true or false statement? Would you not say he's the third wheel in the Drew versus Punk? Would you not say he's the third wheel in Cody versus Roman?
I wouldn't say that he's the third wheel in Seth versus Punk, only because he should have been, you know, the guy, you know what I mean? I just think that right now Drew is doing really, really good shit with Punk based on, you know, what Punk's been able to do. I think if it was Rollins and Punk, I'm pretty sure they'd be doing a better job. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I think they would. I really do. I think Drew's done phenomenal stuff, but Drew's also been waiting for this. Drew has been stewing with this, you know. And let's look at it like this, okay? If Punk didn't get hurt, we'd be looking at a really good program between Rollins and Punk.
I mean,
nobody would be thinking about Drew. Nobody would be thinking about Drew.
I don't think Rollins could do what Drew's doing. Drew is a natural talker. You can tell this is a part of him. I go back to the promo battle with Kevin Owens. We know KO could talk.
Yeah.
We don't that he's one of the best talkers of this generation. We saw it. Any feud he's in, he sells it. He can sell it himself. But when I look at it, like, Seth's never really been that dude where he can sell the feud, you know? It's like you said it on one of our phone conversations. If he's real, if he kind of like portrays that realism, then he comes off as like, okay, good. But for me, I don't think, like, yesterday we saw a lot of comments where Drew was like able to keep up with Punk. You know what I mean? I don't think Seth can do that. Like, he looked frazzled when he asked Punk if he wanted to know what he thought. And Punk just looked at him and said, no. Like, it was almost like he needed to take a pause. Like,
Yeah.
nah, I gotta know what to say. You know what I mean? And I look at that and I'm like, I just don't know if it would work for him.
I think that they're both guys. I think both guys are really working and figuring out what works and trying to get this feud over. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the main thing with Punk and with Rollins is that they're trying to build up the animosity to be believable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make the hate believable. And I think by them doing that, they're doing a really, really good job out of it. So for me, I don't know. You know, I don't want to discredit Seth because I think Seth is incredibly talented. But we got to remember that if it wasn't for Punk getting injured, we'd be looking at a Punk Rollins feud, and we don't know if it would be better or not. You know, it probably could be. You know, because the guys are fucking talented, and look, the way that they're letting them shoot now. The way that they're letting them talk.
Oh, yeah. That Punk line yesterday, who made you the chosen one?
Oh, my God.
That one had my eyes open. I was like, oh, shit.
But again, he's a guy that does that. Like, very much like Nia Jax. He gets this legitimate reaction, you know, whether he's a heel or a face, it's a legitimate reaction. People legitimately do not like Nia Jax. Punk, you either love him or hate him. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna watch him. You're gonna watch him because you're gonna see what he's gonna say. You want to see what he's gonna do. You know what I mean? He has that ability to him. And I mean, look, I think I'll say this much: his involvement in that segment yesterday was amazing. Like the fact that he was in that segment made that feud, made everything so much more important. And man, let me tell you. Credit to the people in WWE, credit to Triple H, credit to people that are working backstage. I'm sure Punk even mentioned, so I'm sure those three guys too have a lot of input as to what's going on. But credit on them to say, hey, you know what? Having Punk involved, even on commentary, is a good thing. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. And you got to understand that it's like having him there, I think, adds to the build and the allure of the match. You know what I mean? And that for me, I think is really what you want. You need that, man, because otherwise the match would be good. The build would be good, but I don't think it would be as interesting as this is right now. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, you know, Drew, Rollins, they're benefiting from Punk. Like Punk is making that shit go. And he's making it even more interesting. And you know, it's funny because he ends that promo right yesterday saying that, like, I made you guys more interesting than you guys have been, you know, for so and so time. And yeah, he's fucking 100% right. He did. He made it more interesting than it could have been, you know. So
absolutely, Tim, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. And I agree with you. That was like a pipe bomb part 2. He really let loose yesterday, and it felt organic. It didn't feel staged. Which is the best kind of promo, right?
I agree 100%. And I think that Punk brings that this genuine believability, I think, to everything that he does. Like, yeah, everybody's watching it and they know it's a fucking work. But it's like, did he mean that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, wow, like, what was that? You know, like, just everything about it. And look, I think Drew did a good job. I'll be honest. I think Drew fared better against Punk than I thought he would have in a promo battle. Because that's not an easy guy to keep up with, man. No. CM Punk is a quick thinker. CM Punk is very intelligent, and he knows how to play to a crowd, man. He's been doing it for a very long time, dude. He's been in wrestling for a very, very, very long time, and he was taught by a lot of great people, you know, and he learned. So you know, it was cool, and I'll be honest, he was definitely one of the biggest bright spots I thought of yesterday's show. Just his involvement, 100%.
Agreed.
But can we take a moment to just like think about this? Because again, if this was him in AEW, I don't think it would be this good, you know. And look,
no, absolutely not.
He did some pretty good stuff in AEW. I just think that he was trying to make people. He was trying to like bring them up to his level. You know what I mean? And I just think that maybe some of those people were not ready to do that. And I think that Tony Khan might not be the best leader, to do that, but in WWE, man, they know who he is. They know what he's about. And they're like, hey, just go out there and do your fucking thing. This is what you got to do. This is what we got to get to. Go do it. And another thing too is it seems like a lot of these guys are not, doing scripted promos anymore. Like it seems like these guys are really getting their
bullet points and go get the point across, just like you said there. That's what they're giving us, the bullet points. Get here.
Yeah. I mean, Drew had a great line. I like the rehab line. Where he's like,
what a brilliant one. Yeah.
For a guy who's straight edge, you're in rehab quite a lot. Like, good line. Like even Punk was like, oh, that was good. You know what I mean? But again, I think the thing that I enjoyed about it, and I think the thing that most people enjoyed about it, was that it was real, man. It was real. It wasn't forced. It wasn't hokey. It wasn't pro wrestling. It wasn't sports entertainment. It was just fucking organic. It's just these three talents shooting on each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fucking bravo, man. Yeah. Bravo, man. I mean, Punk added a lot of edge to that shit, bro. Like just with the fucking Chosen One shit, with everything else that he said throughout that promo.
Yeah.
Calling them dipshits and everything. And again, more on that really, because Rocky is trending that way with this program. Now,
yes.
I know, maybe not a lot of people would know this. I don't know if I've mentioned it here on the show. I know that I've mentioned it to you in conversations, but Rock is being reported by Billy Body, by the Wrestling Informer, as having a lot more influence within the company. And one of the things that he wants to do when they move to Netflix is make the third hour of Raw mature. You know what I mean? Love it. I think that's cool. And you can
You are breaking news here on Working the Marks, because that is not something you've mentioned in our conversation.
Okay, well, good. Then there you go. Look at this.
Motherfucker, you waited until your third to last show to start breaking news.
Well, I mean, it's WrestleMania season, so, I'm in the giving mood. But I just think that, that's a great idea. And you can kind of see that they're starting to trend that way. You can see that Rock and Cody, the way they're shooting on each other. Blood last night. Yeah. Blood on Monday Night Raw in 2024.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I got to be honest with you. This is one of the best Rocky runs that I have seen in a very long time. And I have stated this. My favorite Rocky run, albeit for being really early, is the Corporate Champ. I think that's the best version of Rocky. That, the Nation of Domination when he took over, those are like the best versions of Rock that I felt. Everything else kind of felt like what Cena did, where he like grew into this like cartoonish, more like PG character. Now, I'm a massive Rocky fan, always have been, so I was still rocking with him when he was like that, but personally, if you're asking me my favorite iterations of The Rock, it's Hollywood Rock. Like when he sang the song to Vicky Guerrero, it's the great Nation of Domination Rock when he took over the group, and obviously Corporate Rock. Those are the best versions. I felt like everything else, it felt like he was playing the comedy role with Jericho and all that. This version of The Rock is something I don't think we've seen before. It's being compared to Hollywood Rock. No way. It's like if that version was TVMA. Yeah.
He's
Rocky's
dangerous.
Never beat somebody up like that. They were comparing that to the Austin segment, and I was like, no fucking way. No. Beat up Austin that way.
Everybody's gonna have this revisionist history about this shit. Let's stop trying to compare it to something else. This is a different era. It's a different scenario. Mm-hmm. Cody Rhodes is a white meat baby face, man. Mm-hmm. It's completely different. But I just love what he's bringing to it. For all the people that wanted him to fuck off, for all the people that didn't want him around, I mean, like, look at what we're getting. Imagine if he wasn't fucking around. This is why I always say, man, like, look, enjoy it. Even if you think it's ridiculous, enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, prime example, you're a big Sting fan. You went to an AEW pay-per-view to see Sting. Why? Because you wanted to enjoy it. Because you wanted to see the guy that made you fucking fall in love with this shit. And that's what it's about, man. So, for me, I look at it like this. I look at it, for your kids. I look at it for my kids. I think, wow, these kids are seeing The Rock, because I would always tell them about The Rock, and they knew who The Rock was, And then, not only is he doing all this stuff, but then he's dropping in a Moana line. In a promo.
So great.
Oh my God,
that was so great. Actually, a really good side note before we continue on this topic. I started reading Becky Lynch's book today, and I'm already halfway through because it's a really good read, really easy read. And in it, she actually talks about how The Rock was backstage and met her daughter and sang "You're Welcome" to her daughter backstage.
That's great. That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
It's interesting though because they're actually really good friends. Billy's also covered a lot of this stuff, and I think it's the same agent, like we're the same agency that Rock used to have. He hooked Becky up with them, which is I think something Endeavor, JME, I think is the name of the agency. But he got Becky that deal, and then now because of that, all of these wrestlers are getting agents to negotiate the wrestling deals. Whereas before, the wrestlers would do it themselves or through a lawyer or whatever. Like,
didn't Sting invent that?
No. This is a new trend that's kind of went down before. I don't know if Sting necessarily did. Maybe he did back in the day, but it might have been a one-off. But for the most part, wrestlers like negotiate their own contracts with either lawyers or
WCW
themselves.
guys all had agents.
Well, here's the thing, though. The ones that are represented by JME, which I forgot what it's called. It's not J something Endeavor. But I know Endeavor's in it. The E is for Endeavor. Is like, The Rock, is Seth Rollins, because Becky, and that's another thing too. Like, because Becky and Rock are cool, and because she was on an episode of Young Rock through that agency.
She plays Cyndi Lauper. She was on a couple episodes.
Yeah, so because she was on there through that agency, she developed a good relationship with The Rock, and in turn, Seth developed a good relationship with The Rock. Seth was originally not supposed to be Cody Rhodes' tag partner in that night one main event. At one point, they were talking about a few other people. They were talking about Jey Uso possibly. They were talking about Sami Zayn, I think was one of the names that was brought up as well. They wanted a big baby face in that spot.
Yeah, that would have been good.
But Rock lobbied for Seth. And, Seth obviously, is not a dumb guy, man. He's going to take that opportunity to work with The Rock. Who the fuck wouldn't, And, he's certainly in a really, really good spot. Now, speaking of this night one main event, right? We know we got the night one main event, right? And the stipulation is if Rocky and Roman win, it's bloodline rules, which means fucking anything goes, right? Basically. The kitchen sink, they're throwing the rule book out the window. You know what I'm saying? As Bret Hart would say, we're throwing the rule book out the window. I think this is what I see kind of happening. All right. And I know.
Oh, go for it.
I'm gonna be Pastradamus here. Okay. I'm gonna
show me your Madame Cleo. Let's go.
Call me now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you with some of this. Okay. So I think in night one, I think the winners of that main event on night one will be none other than The Rock and Roman Reigns. And I think that is going to happen. And I think that Cody is going to go 1-1 that weekend. And I think Cody's going to get pinned in that match. And then it's going to be bloodline rules, and it's going to be all this crazy shit. And they'll probably bring some people out, and they'll have a big fucking melee, and everybody that the bloodline fucked over will come out and somehow be involved in the match. But then at some point or another, it's going to be Rock. And then Roman's going to try and sun The Rock, and The Rock's going to be like, nah. And The Rock's going to do this or like, this shit or whatever it is that he's going to do. He's going to do some shit. And then he's either going to walk out and leave or he's going to fucking lay out Roman. But I fully expect that if Cody hits the crossroads on him after that, Roman's going to kick out. They're probably going to get a couple other minutes. And you're hearing it here. I'm working the marks. And I know that I said it last year, but I'm ready to go 1-1 because I think Cody's ready to go 1-1. I think at WrestleMania Night 2, Cody finishes the story and he defeats Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. That's what I think is going to happen.
Interesting.
And I think Seth is going to go 0-2. And I think Seth is going to lose in the tag match, and he's going to lose the title to Drew.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I dig it. I dig it. A couple thoughts on that. Okay. One of them is I can't help, and I know you're going to disagree with this.
Okay.
But I this is a feeling I have. WrestleMania 6 all over again. Cody's going to win the title. And nobody's going to give a shit. Everybody's going to be more concerned with the guy that just lost the title.
Damn.
Hogan has told us how many times.
Oh my
How many times have we
God.
heard that WrestleMania? D, I know you're on here. You can attest to this. Hogan said he knew that they were in trouble when people cared more about the guy that lost and is leaving than the guy that's in the ring.
I mean,
That's how I feel like Cody's losing momentum.
I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna say that you're lying. All right. I'm not. I didn't even shoot it down. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the more I think about it, it could be a possibility. Right. I think it's fair to say everything's a possibility at this point.
Yeah.
Right. He's in a tricky pickle. You know, he is. Yeah. He's in a tricky pickle, but this is where a lot of the good faith and the investment in Cody and the good faith with the crowd and everything else, I think really, really goes a long way. And let me tell you something right now. What he does this coming week on Monday Night Raw in Brooklyn for the Go Home Raw, I think will play a big, big part in this. Now, I know Dee's bringing up this graphic here, right? Because obviously everybody thinks that Roman's going to break Hogan's streak. Well,
I think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think so is a long time ago, not in a galaxy far, far away, but a long time ago, Cody Rhodes said to Roman Reigns,
I hope so, Papa. I hope so.
And I'm going to take everything from you. So taking everything from him is taking his cousin away from him or cousins away from him. Okay? It's taking his world title from him.
Yep.
And it's taking away his immortal streak, brother. Okay? Now that to me, that's good storytelling, man.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna finish it now, right? This is the place to do it. This is the place to do it. Philadelphia, hardcore Mark crowd. They like Roman. They love Roman. They're gonna front. They're gonna pretend like, oh, he doesn't defend the title all the time. But they're fucking marks, and they all love Roman. And anybody who likes wrestling nowadays fucking likes Roman. Come on, you're full of shit if you don't. Because he's fucking great. The guy's great. Yeah. The guy's great. What's this?
No, they make up shit. They make up things like I want to touch on that after I make.
We'll address this afterwards. But
I was gonna say, but a lot of people like to make up shit. Like, oh, Roman doesn't know how to wrestle. He does like 5 Superman punches. He doesn't fucking need to,
bro. Get out of here.
You want to watch Roman's like actual Rolodex of wrestling? Go back and watch the Big Dog because he gave us that. All right, right now he's doing everything he needs to do the right way. So just like the way people just make shit up is just ridiculous to me.
But here's the thing though. Even though with that, they're still making up excuses why he's not good. You know why?
Yeah.
Because he's a good bad guy. Because he makes you fucking hate him. Okay?
Yes.
So people have to come up with excuses to fucking act like he's not good when he fucking actually is good.
Agreed.
You're getting worked. Sorry. You're getting fucking worked. And he's good at what he does. And this entire storyline, this entire thing, I mean, I think for this generation has been the definitive storyline. Where I guess, what are they calling this? The reality era or something? I forgot what they're calling it.
I forgot.
The new era or something?
The Renaissance era?
No, they're not. They're not calling it the Renaissance era. I forgot what the gimmick name is.
But Triple H named it though. He named it.
Right. So they gave it this thing. I think this has been the definitive storyline, man. This has been amazing. It's one of the all-time great storylines. I think for Cody to finish it in Philly, I think is really good. You accomplish exactly what you need to accomplish. Roman takes some time off, right? Then it'll be easy to turn Roman fucking face, right? And then, with Cody, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Let's put our fucking eggs in the basket. Look, I know that there's going to be a lot of people that already without him winning the title aren't going to like it or buy it. They're not going to be into it. They're not, no matter what. Nothing is going to convince them otherwise. But this is where what WWE does and what WWE does so well, which is create stars with very tiny little drops of water until you got a fucking ocean.
Yeah.
And this guy's fucking over huge. This is where all that good faith comes in. This is where all that work comes in. And look, I want Cody Rhodes to succeed. I think Cody Rhodes is excellent. I think Cody Rhodes is one of the best in this era, in this business of all time. What he's been able to do, how he's been able to evolve, starting up a wrestling company, leaving a wrestling company, the way he returned, just, he's been very, very symbolic, I think, for this modern era of wrestling. He really has been. And I want him to succeed immensely, man. I really do. The question is, what will it happen now? And I'm not disputing what you say, because it is a possibility. Let's be honest. It is a possibility. How many guys have we seen throughout the course of the business? Lex Luger was one of those guys that was just mentioned there, that we've seen, that everybody thought fucking no-brainer. This guy's going to be the guy. And then what happens? Didn't work out.
Well, the Lex Express ruined that. We learned that from his biography special. He didn't want to interact with fans. He cared more about working out, and he cared more about like filling his tummy. He's like, I'm hungry. I want to go work out. I want to be left alone. That's what he wanted. He wasn't about that. I look at Cody as one of these guys who is like the last of his kind. I don't think anybody else works as a babyface like this. It's just not interesting. Cody's that last of that era who can pull off this version of a babyface. I don't think we'll ever get anything like this again. And that's what makes him so unique. Now, in my mind, the reason that I'm opposed to what you're saying is because Triple H was a part of the way Vince created Roman Reigns. He was a part of it. It took Roman 3 tries to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Remember, he lost 2 main events to Brock. He lost both titles, the WWE Championship, then he lost the Universal Championship, the infamous, it's a shoot, and he threw the title at Vince. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then the 3rd time they worked each other, it was SummerSlam, and he beat him at SummerSlam. But then he had to unfortunately go out because of his leukemia returning. But then the next time they worked at Mania, he beat him. That's why I just think that I think Cody, I think your original thought is where my mind is, that Cody might lose again next Sunday. And I don't know. I mean, I hope Timmy's right. I mean, I hope Damian wins the title. As much as I love Drew McIntyre, if Damian wins the title over, if Punk hits the go to sleep on Drew McIntyre and Damian comes in and cashes in, that's awesome. Give me that.
Here's the thing too, when the booking of if that tag team ladder match is on night 2, right, and he gets hurt or taken out in that ladder match, he's not going to cash in, right? But if it's night 1 and he doesn't get too dinged up, there's a possibility he could do it. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean hurt? You mean
Damian.
like a work?
Like if Damian gets, leg drop off the top of a ladder through a fucking table or some shit.
I got it.
You get what I'm saying? If he gets hurt in the gimmick match, then he's not going to come back. I could see Priest going after Tim. Tim, thank you for joining us, by the way. Damian Priest, I mean, Dustin Rhodes, here's the thing with Dustin Rhodes. It's great he mentions him. Dustin Rhodes was being considered for the Hall of Fame this year. The WWE wanted to induct him this year, where Cody would be competing for the world title. The only reason that it did not happen was because Tony Khan said no. Okay.
He's such a dick.
But here's the reason why. Tony Khan said no, because the last time he allowed Billy Gunn to go to the Hall of Fame, that's when Triple H said that line about AEW. And that's kind of what poked it. So because of that, he doesn't want to do it. Now, WWE's like, well, we'll buy it out. We'll buy him out or some shit, or we'll buy out something. Tony Khan's like, I don't want your money. You know what I mean? So he just doesn't do it. Ricky Starks technically is with WWE, right? He technically is, right? Now, Ricky Starks is on the no-compete period now. And they offered to pay his no-compete clause. And at one point, this is another thing too. At one point, Ricky Starks was being considered to be Cody's tag partner against The Rock and Roman.
Oh, that would have been fucking amazing, because that man could cut some promos.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Look, no offense to Ricky. I think he's talented. But to bring him in like that,
bro, what do
That's
we
a-
put him over?
but that's a lot. That's a lot. That's
Well,
a lot
yeah,
for a
I
guy
get
that
it.
people are gonna look at and go, "Who's the fuck is that? What is that? The Little Rock?" You
Is
know
that
what
the
I'm
guy?
saying?
Is that the guy
maybe-
Punk put over?
And I like Ricky Starks. I think he's very
I
talented.
don't-
Yes, it
did-
is.
Pat,
Punk
is
put him
Ricky
over?
Starks the one Punk put over in
Yeah,
AEW?
Punk put him over in the Owen Hart tournament. Remember?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, you're right. He did. You're right. Because he won the Owen Hart tournament, right? Ricky won it, right? The second
Ricky
time?
won it. Remember, he cheated.
Yeah, that's
He held the
awesome.
rope and
I
shit.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good.
So fucking. That was one guy that was considered, but Ricky
I
Starks.
find this odd. Can I just
Sure.
segue here for a second? This motherfucker has a problem with a throwaway line from Triple H, which is something Triple H does on normally. Yet he can go on social media.
But he was in DX mode when he said it. Come on.
No, I know, but he can go on social media or he can go on a fucking podcast interview and essentially say the same type of shit about WCW and Eric Bischoff. Right? Am I wrong in saying
Double
did he not
standard.
say like
No.
that's exactly what he did. Oh, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna make the same mistakes that Eric Bischoff made. Like when you have 83 weeks of success over WWE, like
Higher in
maybe-
WWE talent, he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And he's running them the same exact way. Like they're closing shows. Like that fucking Edge versus Christian match was awful. Anyway, but
He can't even fucking walk in Eric Bischoff's shoes. He can only
No.
dream of getting close to what Eric Bischoff did.
Mhm.
Period. I mean, look, I think what Khan is doing is good for wrestling in a way. It's employing people. It's something else for people to watch. It's an alternative product. In some ways, I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Mhm.
It's a competitor in a sense. It is.
Yeah!
And it's pushing WWE to do different things. Let me tell you something. I think if AEW didn't exist, it's interesting to kind of wonder, would we be seeing blood right now in that feud? Would we be seeing the kind of things that we're seeing from WWE? That Ricochet, can we take a second? I know we're jumping from thought to thought here, folks. Feel free to chime in with your thoughts, anything that we're talking about here.
Mhm.
You want to see us discuss it a little bit further. We're calling this fucker in the ring. We're calling it on the fly.
Let's do it.
But the Ricochet JD McDonough match last night.
Oh my god! Wow.
That was a great fucking free match.
Oh my!
That was-
What a phenomenal But I'm a big Ricochet fan, so like I'm a
I
fan.
am too.
I like Mini Benoit too. I think that the both of them are spectacular. I love the Puma lines because I've been saying like I want Prince Puma. I feel like he could take over for Ray. Like that could be the next type of luchador.
He could. I could see something like that happening, but I think that they want to take advantage of the fact that they have a good-looking, athletic, black guy that can talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because you want to appeal to different demographics.
You
You don't want to just
now started talking well because he kind of sounded like
no.
really
I think
muffled
he's.
in the
I
beginning.
think that it was an issue of confidence with him. I think it was
Mhm.
building confidence with him.
Which I don't understand. He's one of
You
the
know?
best workers on the fucking planet.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing. And for all
Yeah.
you people out there, I think he's the reason why maybe WWE didn't sign Will Ospreay because they have a version of it in him.
No,
with what he could do.
You're wrong. You're
And,
wrong.
and also the fact that Tony Khan was paying him fucking crazy money.
Listen, I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with you. They didn't sign
How?
Will Ospreay. They didn't sign Will Ospreay because they have a better version of Will Ospreay. Because
Who's that?
Ricochet is just that much better. They don't need Will Ospreay because their version is better. If you're gonna sit here and tell me that you think that Will Ospreay can do everything that Ricochet can in terms of high flying, maybe
He can, but maybe it's first of all, I think it's the styles that they work, right? I think
Oh, yeah,
Will
absolutely.
Ospreay works more of a Japanese indie style, right? And Ricochet
Mm-hmm.
can do that too, and Ricochet used to do that too, right? But Ricochet sells. Ricochet
Yes.
sells. Ricochet let shit breathe. You know, Ricochet and Logan Paul had an awesome match, man, that people kind of forgot about. You know, like I thought they had some great stuff. I thought the build to it I thought was great. Like, man, you know, Ricochet to me is a really, really talented dude, but Ricochet has also had the ability and the advantage of being in WWE and, you know, having people to say, hey, man, take it easy. You know, don't do this. You don't have to do that. Let's work on this instead or do this instead. And look, man, you know, I think he's learning it, you know, but Will signed with AEW. He's getting paid a lot of money. Yeah. You go where the money is. He knows how to work that style. Yeah. I just think that, you know, I don't know, man. I want to see Will Ospreay work more of a slower paced style. Like not do so much, but make his stuff mean a little bit more instead of just.
He's gonna have to the 20th.
I think
he's gonna have to.
I think he's talented. I think he's super talented, but I hope that he does that, and I hope that he does that not only to you know, to show a different side of him. I think wrestling wise, but I also think to extend his career, man, because that the type of style that he works. He used to work. I mean, he used to work even crazier before that. But the type of style that he works, you know, that shit catches up with you, man. You know, it catches up with you in the long run. You know,
but he's working the best wrestler probably of our generation at whatever they call that, like Diamond Dust or whatever.
Oh, man,
him and Brian,
Diamond,
like whatever they're gonna be working, and he's gonna have to work a style. Like, you know, he's gonna go in. He's not gonna call the match. Like Brian's gonna call that match. So I fully expect, because the Shibata match was great. Now I don't know if Will's Shibata match this week is gonna be good. But I know the Brian Shibata match was good.
Can I say something? Is it bad that I'm just like I'm not into it? Is it bad that I'm not into like Brian? And I love Brian Daniels. So you know how much I love Brian Daniels.
Yeah.
Is it bad that I'm just not into it? Because I'm just not into it. Like I want to be excited for these matches, but I don't know what it is. It's like
it's the company.
It's just. I feel like by the time, for me personally, by the time I get to like what I want to see on the fucking show, I'm already so over it that it's like, I just like it. I don't know. I don't care.
Well, I also think that we're leading up to WrestleMania, and I think that's where our minds are going right now.
Sure.
And like that is going to be 3 weeks after. So like we'll have time. Hopefully they build it properly.
Which is good booking wise, because you're giving it time to fucking like breathe a little bit. And WrestleMania is out of your fucking mind. And by then, you know, Sammy would have, you know, lost the IC title match and then won it in Montreal. All that stuff. I think all that stuff would have happened by then. And then, you know, you have what is it? Dynasty? I know it's named after a telenovela. It sounds like a telenovela or some shit.
I don't know, man. Mariela del Barrio was my favorite telenovela, yo. That was the best. Alia was amazing.
I'm more of a Dos Mujeres Un Camino guy. I don't know.
No, I love it.
But little novela humor for people out there. If you know, you know.
Yeah. But listen, since we're talking about novela, why don't we talk about the latest Latino that's been killing it in WWE? Because, dude, that match with Andrade yesterday and Giovanni was fucking awesome, bro.
I like the match. I like the work. But I'm gonna just wait. Like I'm gonna wait and see what happens. What I would like to see for him, if I'm being honest, I'd like to see Priest go face, right? Get screwed, unfortunately, or win the title, whatever. I'd like to see him win the title ultimately, but I want to see him win the title when it's good. This is okay. It's not good. It's not great. You know what I mean? But I think Priest getting kicked out of Judgment Day and then Andrade taking his place and those two feud.
Damn it.
Sign me up. Oh, no. I'm sure you're thinking the same thing.
I love it. I love it. Now keep going. I'll add to it.
But think about it like this, right? For the Latino fans out there, right? Mexico versus Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? For the boxing fans, you know, for people like that. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then now you got Andrade, his whole presentation with the mask and everything. Yeah. It suits the darkness of the Judgment Day. Absolutely. And Dom, you know, like Dom's like his little weasel fucking minion, you know, and shit, and Rhea and, you know, and Finn and fucking I mean, bro, let's go. And I think if you want to keep the Judgment Day going, you want to keep it interesting, that's the fucking way to do it, man. That's the next step. That's the next evolution, you know?
What do you do with Charlotte? That's Charlotte's husband, and she's got a massive feud with
Well,
Rhea Ripley.
I mean, that's something you could build a match around later on. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I love it. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it just provides you with more opportunities. But I think with his presentation, with the way they've teased it, with the way it's kind of been weird with Priest, I could see them screwing Priest over on the fucking briefcase, and then fucking Andrade takes his place and joins the Judgment Day.
Doesn't it kind of seem like Damian Priest has kind of turned into the edge of the group? Like they're gonna kick him out like the Raw after Mania or something.
I could see that. I could see that, and in a way, I kind of dig it, because again, like Priest is good enough where he could go on his own. I thought he had a great run as U.S. champ. I called it the Puerto Rican Championship when he had it. So
love it.
So like it was cool, man. It was cool,
Yeah.
and I thought he had a good run as a babyface champion. He had a lot of good matches with a fucking bunch of people. He had a pretty lengthy title reign too, on top of it all. So like, he's a guy that I think could go on his own. For Andrade, I think the Judgment Day is a good thing for him because his speaking is better. It's not great, but it's better. And I think that the Judgment Day just fucking adds to it.
I heard Andrade when he was asking when people were calling him up to see if he wanted to go on some indie shows before the E's, like, I know available.
I know available.
I know.
I love it. I love that. But listen. Now my original thought was that he would be Rhea's new Latino Heat. That she would kick down to the curb.
Not yet.
Well, they keep losing, so I feel like they're bringing it up a lot. You know what I mean? Like they're talking, so it makes me think like, oh, maybe they gotta like revamp it. So
imagine that they fucking right. So he kicks out Dom, and it's fucking Andrade and Rhea, and then he goes and teams with Charlotte. So you got two wrestlers kids teaming together against fucking.
I love it.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Maybe Charlotte comes back with Buddy.
Ooh, that would be good.
Because we know Buddy and Andrade can go.
Yeah.
I've seen Buddy a lot live. He normally wrestling Malachi.
He's talented. No, dude, he's a talented guy.
I've never seen him work anybody else live. I've only seen him work like Alistair live. So
nah, I've seen him a bunch. Like I caught him on house show loops and shit. The dude's very talented. He's believable too, yo. He's a beast, bro. He's fucking huge. And
but the irony in the fact that Andrade and Buddy can't talk, but both of their women can.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I would like to see Zelina and Andrade together again, though.
I think
the LWO gets disbanded,
I think the LWO is in a good spot. I just think that they need a young Latino babyface, I think that's what they're missing. Because those guys are good, the guys that are in it, the tag dudes. But, I don't know, man. Tim here with Rhea's the one who gives the commands to Screw. Yeah, I think so. That. I mean, she's look, if we're being real here, they say there's no leaders there, but she's the leader.
Oh, no question. And he keeps calling himself the leader. So it's like, yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that one too. Like if she's the one that kicks out Dominic, like almost like you brought me a better version of you. Like I just think
it just doesn't make sense though with Dominic now to turn him face.
No, he's perfect.
He's perfect right now.
Yeah.
It plays into his nature, everything that he's doing, working with her, I just, and the big thing too is you're keeping a title on her because even if Priest and Finn lose, you're keeping a title in the Judgment Day. And I think that's all you really want to do,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, I think that'd be a good fit.
Mm-hmm. Hell of a fucking punch he took last night, huh?
Dude, let me tell you something.
The slow-mo.
Ironically enough, it was an Irish woman throwing a potato shot. That was quite a potato. That was quite a potato.
Bro, that was rough, man. I was like, holy shit. He took it like his whole job.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome. He's a fucking pro, dude. Mm-hmm. He's a pro. When Shawn Michaels is putting you over and saying you're the MVP of the year, bro, that's crazy.
He is.
That's crazy.
We talked about it on this show. We talked about Dom and Rhea being super like they're a big part of this year in professional wrestling. It's amazing.
What I like is Dom. I think Dom's heat is just it's long lasting. You know what I mean? It's not this flimsy fucking cheap heat. Like it's long lasting. I mean, the one thing I gotta say that I didn't like was them putting out the stuff at his wedding. As a fan, I didn't like that, if I'm being honest.
You see, I love that you brought that up because we had our private conversation, and I told you I didn't like, and I don't like that they keep doing it. They keep showing us the Gunther with the wrestling kid.
You were right. You were right about that when we had talked about it. At the time. I didn't really think it, but then I kind of had time to marinate over it, and I was just like, especially with the way they're kind of trending and how they're doing things lately. I felt like maybe not show it, but hey man, it is what it is. I don't think it's killed him. You know what I mean? I don't think it's killed his character, but no, Dom, showing his wedding and shit.
No, I mean I don't like that Damian actually told. Like there are certain things that I don't want to hear. Like Damian telling us that he started the boo, to mess with them and stuff at the wedding. Like I was like. Yeah, that's cool. That's dope. But like he got booed at his wedding. That's perfect for his character.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, at the end of the day, these are just like little marquee complaints that we're making here. So I mean, it doesn't really affect the bottom line because look, they're all still over. They're all still over. But yes, as like my little marquee complaint, and shout out to little Marky, as my little marquee complaint. D knows what I'm talking about. That's all. It's just my little thing.
I kind of have a complaint about the wedding. I have a complaint about the wedding.
Okay.
Why did we need to see a picture of Ray?
Oh yeah.
We know Charlotte was at Becky Lynch's wedding.
You know what I would have done? I would have like used Dom's social media to like fucking go out. I would have gone on Dom's. Oh shit. Oh man. The Devils just beat the Toronto Maple Leafs here. Shout out to our boy, the talent, Tyler Taylor. 3:13 left in the third period. Goal by Jack Hughes, number 86, Jack Hughes. Just shout out to the talent there. 5-3 Devils. But
I just text him a gif of David Putty.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
He's gonna be so angry.
But yeah, no, I mean, what was he talking about? Dom? Oh yeah, so Dom and Ray. I would have done some shit where I would have taken a picture where Ray was outside eating dinner at a table, like outside of the wedding. And it's like you could see a picture of him from like the outside, and Ray's there, like, making a face or some shit.
But the thing that I'm trying to state is like, so Becky was the last one to get married, right? Or was it Charlotte? Whichever one of the two got married last, dude, they're best friends. We know that they are at each other's wedding, but they're playing this Brett versus Sean feud in real life, right?
Yeah.
So like, they didn't show them. You know what I mean? Like we don't know. There's a lot of people that are still angry. I can't believe you didn't invite your friend. I can't believe you didn't do that. And it's like, they're playing the role. It's like Taker when he called out Roman in Saudi, where he's like, dude, can't you just stay kayfabe for like a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, just they're doing it. Kayfabe is definitely alive. I love that. I love this version of professional wrestling. Before we go here, though, I wanted I since Uribe's not on the show, I kind of want to get a little LA Knight slander here.
Oh shit.
So no, I want you to do it. So Rocky's made the comment over and over that wrestling is cool again, right? And I have to agree with him. Like I would say you'd agree with him too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, recently LA Knight was on I believe The Bump, and he told everybody, he's like, yeah, The Rock saying that wrestling is cool again is all good, all fine and dandy, but let's remind him that it started 6 to 7 months ago. Like, what do you think of LA Knight trying to steal some of the juice from The Rock? I mean, he's stolen his gimmick. So,
I mean, look, I think LA Knight is doing what he's got to do. He's also
trying to stay relevant.
He's trying to stay relevant, but he's also sticking up for his peers that he works on the road with every week, every fucking night, or 3 nights out of the week. You know, so you got to respect that. I'm sure The Rock respects that because The Rock probably would have done the same thing himself, you know, sticking up for his locker room, you know. By the way, Devils just scored again. Another goal by Jack Hughes. 6-3, Devils.
Let's see what he said.
Devils! 6-3.
He sent me a gif of a St. Louis Blues guy just slamming his thing down. You couldn't even pick a fucking Maple Leaf.
Well, you know, I think it's the reaction, you know.
Yeah.
Wow, 6-3, dude.
Let's do it.
Shout out to the Devils here tonight.
Well, we have a lot of like Tyler hates our fandom because the Niners always beat the Packers, the Yankees always beat the Blue Jays, and the Devils usually beat the Maple Leafs. So it's pretty fun.
The Maple Leafs haven't won a Stanley Cup in a very long, but they're one of the best teams in the fucking league. Let's not get it twisted.
We're nowhere
Devils,
near that.
The Devils gotta win. They gotta basically win out and cross their fingers and hope something happens in order to make the playoffs. So there's that. But you take your wins when you can get them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't have anything bad to say about LA Knight about that. I think that's cool. You know, I mean, he stuck up for his locker room. But if we're being realistic, the fucking Rock being around does help. It's awesome. It's fucking great to see the Rock. I'm sure he's happy. I'm sure everybody's happy because, you know, the business is in a really fucking good place right now. It's in a really, really fucking good place right now. And
amazing place.
I think more importantly because there's options.
Yeah.
There's options, you know, there's options. You got AEW, you got MLW, you got TNA, you know, you got New Japan, you know, you got the Indies, you know, you got WWE, you know, like you got so much different types of wrestling to fucking choose from. Glow, deathmatch wrestling, Stardom, you know, all this shit that's out there. Everything you can fucking think of. You know?
Yeah, it's exactly what you would want as a wrestling fan. And this is what I want to remind wrestling fans of, which I think people have forgotten. WWF, WCW, and ECW were three completely different styles of professional wrestling. They did not work the same style. And everyone loved their Fed. If you were an ECW guy, you would rock with that. If you were a WCW guy, I would rock with that. If you were a WWF guy, that's how it was. And we didn't grow up hating people for liking a different, like, it's so weird that
we all watched it.
Part of professional wrestling.
We all watched it. We all watched WCW, WWF. We all watched fucking ECW. We watched it. We loved it. There was some shit on there maybe we didn't like. You know, there was some shit that we were like, whatever. But we all still watched it. We all still watched it, and that was it, you know? And at the end of the day, the big shit was the big shit, and we fucking watched it, you know? Okay. Whether it was an ECW main event, WCW main event, or WWF main event, it was still a fucking main event. We were still watching it, and we enjoyed it. And look, some people hated WWE back then. Some people hated WCW. Some people only liked ECW. Some people thought ECW was shit. But everybody was fucking cool about it, you know? Everybody was cool about it. Everybody was cool about it.
I mean,
it wasn't as tribal as it is now, I think. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Maybe
Speaking
the internet
haters. What do you think of William Goldberg's comments on Asuka this week?
Bill Goldberg, you know something.
Listen, all I gotta say is Brett's been right since 1998.
I got a backwards I got a backwards hat on and a hockey sweater. I'm so Bret Hart right now. It's not even funny.
I'm just
you know
saying,
something, Bill Goldberg. No, Brett's
Japanese girl. What an asshole.
Brett's been saying it for a very long time. I think Bill Goldberg just doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's made his money. He's done what he's wanted to do. I think there's a part of him too that's upset. I know he blamed Triple H, you know, on that interview that he did or whatever. You know, he kind of took a shit on pro wrestling, but like pro wrestling gave him a good life, man. But look, it is what it is. Those are his experiences. You know, he feels how he feels. I just feel like, you know, all right, you're going to shit on this girl, but like, yo, like, come on. You know, it's fucking like Asuka is fucking one of the best in the world, you know? And, oh, they took my move. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's this. Bro, look at Shawn Michaels fucking mentoring kids. You know what I'm saying? And an entire generation of people are doing the fucking super kick and kicking out at one sometimes, okay? And this
But
dude
he
used to use
did
it for a
mention
fucking
that the
finish.
overutilization of the spear as well. He's right.
He
He is right about that.
Okay, but it's a fucking move now. That's it.
But now it's a
fucking
finish
move.
for everybody. It's a finish for
Yeah.
everybody. Like, I mean, but the
Is
one
Jake
thing
Roberts complaining about the fucking DDT? You know?
No, that move was whack back then too. Listen,
Stop
well-
it! Stop it! I will not have DDT slander on this fucking show.
Get the fuck out of here! You had to slap someone's back to let them know you.
You
were
don't
going
have to
down.
slap the back. Actually,
No.
Brett, what is
That's
it?
what they teach you in school. Don't tell me that they didn't teach you to slap
All
the
right.
back.
Okay, but listen, there's different ways to do it. You can squeeze the
yes.
wrist. You can squeeze the
Yes.
wrist. Okay, you know.
But he slapped the back though. Jake slapped the back.
Yeah, but the back slap became popular. And the funny thing is like, unlike slapping your leg for a super kick to sound like you kicked somebody in the face, why the fuck are you slapping them in the back for in a fucking DDT?
Oh no, I don't know.
Other than
Well,
when, you're letting them know, like.
Agreed. I still think that the reverse DDT is way better. It's just so dope.
I'm not gonna lie, it is a pretty badass move.
Yeah, not Christian's version.
No,
falling on your belly. It's so weird.
No, I don't. Yeah, how does that work?
Goldberg has gotten a pass though, because Brett is everybody's favorite grandfather to hate on. Everybody loves fucking with Brett because he's Walt Kowalski. He's the real life version of Clint Eastwood's character in Gran Torino. He hates everybody. He's get off my lawn. So Goldberg's gotten a pass. But I want to remind people, Goldberg, just like Brett, is a fucking hypocrite. And I'm a big Bret Hart fan. He's in my Mount Rushmore. But what I was going to say about Goldberg is he's been bitching about that Kevin Nash Starrcade ending of the streak since it happened. Every single time he talks about the streak, he talks about how it could have kept going. This streak has meant more to him than it has anybody else in pro wrestling. If anything, he should hate Vince Russo for making Sid Vicious the Millennium Man. Because he tried to restart the thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Oh my god. I haven't thought about that in such a long time. That is hilarious. The Millennium Man. You know what I was thinking about the other fucking day? Berlin.
What? Berlin? Yeah.
Fucking Berlin.
Oh my god.
He looked like fucking Chono. He looked like white Chono. That's what he looked like Masa Chono.
There was some weird ass gimmicks, man.
Oh my god. Yeah, but the artist. I gotta put the artist over. I liked it. That was better than Prince Iakea, the fucking baby Prince.
No, I agree. I really wish that Vampiro would have got his shit together back in the day, because I feel like he would have been a major star in wrestling.
He would have been a huge star. He would.
And we didn't learn until Lucha Underground that the guy had a really good cadence. Like, he could talk. Like, he was a good commentator.
He's just a very talented guy, man. You know, and I mean, he was in the business at a time when it was fucking crazy, and a lot of people died, and he's still here. I mean, so you got to give him credit, and he's doing his thing. He's got a podcast. I know that. He does it all in Spanish. He speaks Spanish fluently. So, I mean, Vampiro's another guy. Yeah, man. Like, dude, fucking Lieutenant Loco. Lieutenant Loco. Yeah, the stun gun incident, it's true. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. When he flattened him.
Dude, that's so good. Fucking Sid.
You know what I love?
And he just started jumping on it like a toddler. Remember? He was so angry.
I'm sorry, y'all. Maybe I'm in the minority of people, but I find Sid incredibly entertaining.
Yes, 100%. I was just talking to D about this before the show started. I was like, man, I'm a Sid fan.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Every incarnation of Sid I've liked. Every incarnation.
Sid Justice?
Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, Sid, Psycho Sid, don't matter.
The Millennium Man.
Jeans, no jeans.
ECW, Sid Vicious. I like that one too.
Yo, I don't know why. But you know what it is? I think his facials have always been fucking hilarious. His facial expressions are so underrated. Sid Vicious's facial expressions are underrated,
Loved
dude.
It.
Like, he's fucking hilarious. Everything that's going on, he makes it believable with what he's doing in his face. He's big. He's athletic, to some degree.
Yeah.
He has one of the best power bombs I think ever. I like his power bomb.
Dude,
you know?
he has fucked some people up. Have you seen some of those War Games power bombs?
Oh
like
my
that
God.
he's laid out people? Oh my God.
Dude, but he's believable. You look at Sid, you're like, yeah, this motherfucker is gonna kill somebody. He's gonna fucking kill somebody.
He does. He looks like a legit psychopath. I can see why Vince named him that.
Yeah.
I can see it. Like, yeah, he definitely does. And his matches with Sean were amazing. They were really good.
Sean, I think, just had such a great understanding of how to work people bigger than him. You know,
he worked Sid better than he worked Nash, though.
Really?
I thought so. I feel like the Texas match is better than WrestleMania 11. The San Antonio match is
WrestleMania 11 was I just actually recently watched that. That's actually funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, I like the Bam Bam match. I enjoy it more now as an adult than I did as a kid.
I gotta say I like Good Friends, Better Enemies better than WrestleMania 11. I think that was a better match itself. And, you know, just everything going on with it emotionally, you know, knowing that Nash is leaving, everything, the whole fucking, you know, I thought that was really cool. You know, that was awesome. And the Click was just so good at getting the fucking internet and the marks fucking invested in what they were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I don't think that's entirely untrue. You know, I can't disagree with that because that Royal Rumble match was really good, actually. I thought that was one of the better matches. And the Survivor Series match wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. Wasn't the match of the night. I think Steve and Brett were that night. I think that was just...
I was just thinking that as you were talking. I was like, this is weird. I'm about to make this statement, but Brett worked Austin better than Shawn did, and Brett worked Nash better than Shawn did.
I don't know.
Survivor Series, Brett versus Diesel match is one of my favorite matches ever.
No, don't get me wrong, it's a great match, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. With Steve, I think that's only because Shawn and Steve, by the time they finally got a really good program to work, because they had that like bullshit little frenemies fucking throwaway kind of feud that they did.
When they were
yeah,
the King of the Ring match.
Yeah, which was, I mean, bro, that's a great wrestling match.
Yeah,
you watch
the
that
double
fucking
DQ
match.
Finish, like it kept them both. Yeah,
well, bro, the way they both worked. I mean, Steve, that was like stunning Steve. You know, like the way he worked in that match. He was amazing.
About to say, like, I'm sorry if you're about to say something disparaging about WrestleMania 14, I'm gonna disagree. I love that match.
I love it, but I
mean, I was rooting for Shawn at the
time.
I was, but
but Shawn knew he couldn't do it. Shawn was fucking really fucked up from that casket match with Taker. Yeah. And Shawn has said it multiple times that, like, you know, his biggest regret was that he couldn't give Steve a better match at WrestleMania 14.
Jesus Christ. Listen, I know he says it in his book. But I'm sorry, man. Like, I've watched that match back and I'm like, maybe it's not up to Shawn Michaels standards, and obviously, like, his opinion is more important than mine, especially about his own work.
Right.
But I genuinely enjoyed that match. I mean, but I'm one of those people that believes that Austin is one of the most underrated in-ring performers ever. People, like, I swear to God, and I hate to say this because I just don't like him, but there's one guy who talks about Austin's in-ring work constantly that I wish people would listen to more, and that's Adam Cole. He mentions it all the time. He talks about it, like, people talk about Austin like he was this.
You mean the D rider?
Cole? He's a dick rider?
Michael Cole.
That's Michael Cole.
I'm
sorry.
Michael Cole.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no, Austin was one of the most brilliant in-ring performers. I mean, you go back and watch his WCW shit. He was so good. I mean, he's got some Japan matches too.
His match
I
with
think I threw one in
Luda.
the chat, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. He had a lot of good. His matches with Steamboat. You know what I mean? Like,
the Ricky Steamboat, the Dustin Reynolds matches too.
Yeah,
but
dude.
Dustin is another underrated performer. People just never.
I think, dude. I mean, well, Dustin, I think is super underrated too, man. I agree.
Yeah, Cody's the worst of the three in ring work style. Like, his dad, his brother are better in ring performers.
I don't know. His dad, his dad definitely. Dusty again. It was just different time, different thing.
Special.
You know what I'm saying?
I think Dusty holds up. Dusty's style held up.
Dusty's style, and I mean, imagine Dusty looking the way he does in 2024. All this body positivity stuff and everything. Like, forget about it. Dusty would be a huge star. He would be
unbelievable,
and he could talk. He could fucking talk, you know. And I mean, Dustin. I just think we never really got to see too much of him. You know what I was thinking about the other day when he was a born again Christian. Remember when he became born again Christian after Goldust?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro! When he would wrestle in the fucking cutoff T-shirt and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was but I really enjoyed the Natural.
The Natural, well, as the Natural, I think that was the best he ever was. You know, as far as being a singles wrestler was. Goldust. Let's not shit on Goldust though. Goldust was a good fucking run, bro. And that gimmick got a legit reaction. Like that gimmick, and
it worked the boys too. Scott went to his grave bitching about that gimmick, bro.
Yeah,
like it worked the boys. They didn't like that shit.
Yeah, dude.
It was kind of like when Paige licked Natty's ear in the ring and pissed her off. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, dude.
There are some people that just don't like that stuff. I mean, I would let Paige. I mean, I love Paige. I've seen all of her movies, and I think she's amazing.
So, all of her movies?
All of her movies. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, on that note, I think it's time to hit the finish here.
Absolutely.
But it's been great. Another good episode here, working the marks, shooting the shit, calling it on the fly. And we're looking forward to coming back for my last episode. We're gonna have a WrestleMania recap, I guess you could say. But I guess we might drop. Oh, this fucking cat! I knew it. I knew she was gonna start pushing stuff off the dresser. Thanks, Winks. Jerk.
I love it.
She's just there. Like
Simba does that shit too. He's probably under the bed there.
Dicks. What do you got going on there? You got a little Paul Heyman going on with the Yankee hat and the ponytail?
Oh no! I mean, my hair's just like long now. Like,
okay.
It's just long or whatever. But no, I was rocking my old school Punk shirt with the bleach stains and stuff or whatever. I was like, nice. You know what? I'm gonna throw on my CM Punk stuff. I have a Monday Night Punk shirt, but it's not Monday.
Wow.
So, yeah. I like it because I have a Monday Night Rollins and Monday Night Punk shirt too. I was too late to get the Monday Night Mommy shirt.
I got a Yanni t-shirt.
Yanni,
and I got a Sade t-shirt.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Sade's awesome.
I like that.
Jerk, man. What a jerk. She just knocked down my deodorant.
Go feed her, bro. That's what it is. She's probably
she's just being like, yo, Patrick, fuck your couch. Anyways, folks,
fuck your couch. Yeah,
I gotta go deal with this cat. All right, my guy over here, his dad had a sick cat once upon a time. Long story, but listen, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. All right, D, thank you so much. Great to see you. You got anything you want to plug? Must Love Wrestling. Check it out. Right.
Yeah, man. Check out Must Love Wrestling on Spotify. Check it out on YouTube's. Thank you so much for for having me on here. I look forward to doing these last two shows with you. We got the show next week and then the WrestleMania show.
Oh yeah, that's the go home show we got next week. And next week, we're gonna be dropping all our WrestleMania predictions. We can't wait to have you fucking people interact with us and shit. So you can tell I'm not particularly good at being a host.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get the Cuban Missile Crisis on here again. I don't know what the hell's going on, but maybe Tyler will.
Well, he's in Baltimore. He's actually trying to figure out why that bridge collapse was Joe Biden's fault. So, but check out his social media at the Fernando.
I have so many theories on that fucking bridge. That makes no sense to me. Did you watch that? Like the way it collapsed makes
a Mothman prophecy.
I mean, hey, get out of there. The world is an imperfect place. Things happen all the time. Okay?
Stop yelling at your pussy.
All right, get out of here, Winks. Anyways, I gotta go. This fucking cat's going nuts. He's Macho Rodriguez. I'm Patty Rican. Stay off the fucking internet. Don't do your own research. Read a book. Go out for a walk. Every week here, we're working the marks. See you later, bro. Peace.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees.
Famcast Media.